Hello friends, today I am going to solve MSc Physics 2021 CUCET exam paper which was conducted on 15 September 2021 and it is very helpful for MSc Physics entrance exam for various universities and CUCET as well. Duration of exam was 120 minutes or 2 hours and total marks is 400. There are two sections, part A and part B. Part A contains general test, 25 questions of 100 marks, and part B, which is physics, 75 questions starting from question number 26 to question number 100 and total of 300 marks. For each correct answer there are 4 marks and for each wrong answer 1 negative marking is there. This is part 1 video and in this one I will explain question number 26 to question number 61 and rest question number 62 to 100 will come in another video. This is going to be helpful for various MSc Physics entrance examination. So let's start guys and please watch till the end. Question 26. A scalar potential field is given by V equal to minus 6x plus 8y minus 12xy square plus 7yz square minus 5y square joule per coulomb. The force on a 4 coulomb charge placed at origin 0, 0 will be E equal to electric field equal to minus del V equal to minus del V by del X I cap del V by del Y J cap plus del V by del Z K cap. Take the derivative with respect to X, Y, Z and you will get that this is your expressions. At the origin, it is asking for force on 4 coulomb charge placed at origin. Electric field at origin equal to put X, Y, Z 0, 0, 0. So it will turns out to be 6 I cap minus 8 J cap. Its magnitude equal to 10. The force on that charge equal to Q into E equal to 4 into magnitude 10 means 40 Newton. Option 2 is correct here. Question 27. A ball is tied to a card and set in rotation in a vertical circle. The tension in the card at the lowest point exceeds that at the highest point. It is asking for what is the tension at lowest point and highest point. So it is asking for their difference. This is particular ball rotating in a vertical circle. At the lowest point, let its velocity is equal to u and for a particular point P, its velocity is equal to v. So for energy conservation, here your height equal to just take h equal to 0, then only kinetic energy is here. So half m u square equal to at this point half m v square plus mgh. H is equal to height of a particular point with respect to your lowest point. Okay. So velocity v is turned out to be square root u square minus 2gh. Second one is centripetal force. So centripetal force is equal to T minus mg cos theta at particular point. So cos theta equal to r minus h divided by r and u equal to, you can take the value of v from here, this expression. So T equal to m by r u square minus 3gh plus gr. This is the standard one and for lowest point h equal to 0. So it is equal to m by r u square plus gr. Tension at middle m by r, this is going to be your r, h equal to r. So u square minus 2gr and for the highest point h equal to 2r. So put h equal to 2r here, then it will equal to u square minus 5gr multiplied by m by r. So now difference of tension at lowest point and highest point will equal to, because this term is going to be cancelled out to each other, so their difference is equal to 6 mg. This and this 6 mg. So option 4 is correct. 6 times the weight of the body. Question 28. A particle of mass m1 moving with velocity u1 collides elastically with another particle of mass m2 at rest. After collision, the two particles move with equal speed in opposite directions. The two masses are related edge. Asking for mass relation of m1 and m2, use the momentum conservation and energy conservation. First particle is moving with velocity u1 and second one is at rest. So u2 equal to 0. For initial momentum m1 u1 plus 0, final velocity, let's it is v. then final momentum will be minus m1v plus m2v. From here, calculate value of v equal to m1 divided by m2 minus m1u. Energy conservation, half m1 u1 square equal to half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. V is your final velocity, so both are moving with equal velocity. Okay, that's why here v and v. Just put the value of v from here and you will get that m2 equal to 3m1. So option 3 is correct here. Question 29. A string under tension carries transverse waves traveling at speed v. If the tension in the string is halved and the linear density of the string is doubled, the wave speed is. The speed of transverse wave on a stretched string v equal to square root t by mu. So mu equal to mass per unit length or linear density and t equal to tension. So linear density is doubled. So it is doubled and this tension is equal to half. So there will be term 1 by 4. Square root 1 by 4 are equal to 1 by 2. It is going to be halved. Yeah, option 2 is correct. Question 30. The relaxation time of a damped harmonic oscillator is 50 seconds. The time in which the energy of the oscillator falls to 1 by e times its initial value will be. The amplitude of a damped harmonic oscillator decreases with e raised to power minus t divided by tau, where tau is relaxation time. And relaxation time is defined as the time taken for amplitude of a damped oscillator to drop from its initial value to 1 by e or 0.368 of that value. The time in which energy of oscillator falls to 1 by e times is equal to relaxation time, and relaxation time is given here 50 seconds. That's why option 1 is correct. Question 31. When two mutually perpendicular simple harmonic motion of same frequency, amplitude and phase are superimposed. So amplitude, frequency, phase all are same. Then x equal to y. That means linear line passing through the origin and inclined equally 45 degree from x and y axis. So option 2 is correct. The resulting motion is a linear simple harmonic motion along a straight line inclined equally to the straight lines of the motion of the components ones. Straight lines of the motion of components means x and y axis. 2 is correct here. Question 32. A particle of mass 100 gram is placed in a field of potential u equal to 5x square plus 10 ergs per gram. The frequency of oscillation of the particle will be. F equal to minus du by dx. Its value equal to minus 10x here from Hooke's law. F is equal to minus kx equal to minus m omega square x. M omega square x equal to 10, omega square equal to 0.1. Now for frequency, omega is equal to 2 pi f or f is equal to omega by 2 pi. F equal to square root 0.1 and put 2 pi inside, then it will become 4 pi square. Just calculate it, value will be 0.05 Hertz. Option 4 is correct. Question 33. The Doppler width of an orange line of krypton is 515 to 10 power minus 13 meter. If the wavelength of light is 605.8 nanometer, the coherent length will be. Coherent length equal to c tau coherence equal to c by delta nu equal to lambda square by delta lambda. So just learn this particular formulas. It is very useful. So just put the values. Lambda equal to 605.8 into 10 to the power minus 9 in terms of meter, and delta lambda equal to 515 to 10 to the power minus 13 is given. So after calculation, it is 0.6673. It is not matching with the answer because there is some mistake. It should be minus 15 here. Doppler width of krypton orange line is equal to 515 to 10 to the power minus 15 meter. After putting minus 15 here, you will get the correct answer 0.6673 meter. Okay. Question 34. The ratio of intensities of the two waves that produce interference pattern is 16:1. The ratio of maximum to minimum intensities in fringe system will be. I1 divided by I2 equal to A1 square by A2 square, where A1 and A2 are equal to amplitude of respective waves. So intensity ratio is equal to 16 by 1. That's why their amplitude ratio A1 by A2 equal to 4 by 1. For I max proportional to A1 plus A2 का whole square and I minimum A1 minus A2 का whole square proportionality. So just solve it. it is turned out to be 25 divided by 9. So option 4 is correct here. Question 35. The thickness of the soap film having refractive index 1.463 that will result in constructive interference in the reflected light with the film is illuminated normally with a light of free space wavelength 600 nanometer. Use the formula 2 mu t equal to n minus 1 by 2 lambda, where n is equal to 1, 2, 3. Put n 1 here, then 2 mu t equal to lambda by 2. For thickness, put other values here, and you will find that t equal to 0.1025 mu m micrometer. So thickness of the soap film equal to 0.1025 micrometer. Option 1 is correct. Question 36. In which of the following is the interference produced by division of amplitude? So there are two ways to produce the interference. One is division of amplitude, in which the amplitude of the incident beam is divided into two or more parts, either by partial reflection or refractions. These beams travel different paths and are finally brought together to produce interference. Examples are interference in thin films, Newton's rings, and Michelson's interferometer. Second way is division of wavefront, where the coherent sources are obtained by dividing the wavefront, originating from a common source by employing mirrors, biprism, or lenses. The class of interference requires essentially a point source or a narrow slit source. Examples are Fresnel biprism, Fresnel mirrors, Lloyd's mirror, and Young's double slit also comes in division of wavefront. So here it is asking for division of amplitude. So Newton's rings, option 2 is correct. Question 37. In Newton's ring arrangement, bright and dark rings are obtained using sodium yellow light. What happens if the top surface of the glass plate on which the lens is kept is highly silvered? Your fringes will disappear. Option 1 is correct. Question 38. A single slit is illuminated by a light composed of two wavelengths lambda 1 and lambda 2. Due to Fraunhofer diffraction, one observes that the first minimum obtained for lambda 1 coincides with the second minima of lambda 2. The relationship between lambda 1 and lambda 2 is condition for minima equal to a sin theta equal to m lambda. First minima of lambda 1, so a sin theta is equal to 1 lambda 1. Second minima of lambda 2, so a sin theta is equal to 2 lambda 2. After comparing these two equations, to lambda 1 equal to 2 times of lambda 2. So option 2 is correct. Question 39. The orders observed by a grating having 4000 lines per centimeter when illuminated normally by visible light of wavelength range 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. E plus B sin theta equal to m lambda, it is the formula. E plus B is known as grating element and equal to 1 divided by n, total number of lines. For maxima, theta equal to 90 degree, sin 90 equal to 1. So E plus B equal to m lambda or 1 by n equal to m lambda. Calculate it. For 400 nanometer and 700 nanometers, going to give orders 3 to 6. So 3 to 6 will be observed. Option 4 is correct. Question 40. Significant diffraction of X-ray can be obtained when orders of wave and diffracting element is same, then it is significant. In case of X-ray, wavelength of X-ray is few angstrom, like 1-2 angstrom, and planar spacing is also of the order of few angstrom. Both are matching. Then by an atomic crystal, significant diffraction of X-ray can be obtained. Option 3 is correct. Question 41. A ray of light is incident on a glass plate of refractive index 1.732 at polarizing angle. The angle of refraction will be, the angle of polarization equal to tan inverse refractive index 1.732 equal to 60 degree, and polarizing angle plus refraction angle equal to 90 degree. The angle of refraction will be 90 minus 60 equal to 30 degree. Option 2 is correct here. Question 42. Quartz has refractive indices 1.553 and 1.544. The thickness of the quarter wave plate for sodium light of wavelength 589 nanometer will be. Use the formula D equal to lambda divided by 4 times N0 minus Na. Ordinary refractive index and extraordinary refractive index. And calculate it, so it is 16.3 micrometer. So although it is here written as 0.163 micrometer, here option is again not matching, some error is there. It should be 16.3 micron. Just use this particular formula, learn this formula, and you can calculate by yourself as well. Next question, question 43. A satellite moves around the earth in a circular orbit of radius r centered at the earth. A second satellite moves in an elliptic orbit of major axis 8r with the earth at center of the foci. If the former takes 1 day to complete a revolution, the latter would take. So for second one, it is given major axis. Major axis is equal to from here to here. Square of the time period proportional to the cube of the semi-major axis. Semi-major axis means from this distance to this. A is here. And for semi-major axis, 8r divided by 2 equal to 4r. Just calculate it, T2 by T1, to A2 divided by A1 whole raised to power 3 by 2. 4r divided by r, initially it is just r. After solving it, you will get that T2 equal to 8 into T1. T1 is equal to 1 day. Farmer takes 1 day, matlab initial one. Whatever satellite moves around the earth, it is taking 1 day. So 8 into 1 equal to 8 days. So option 2 is correct. Question 44. The unit of pressure of 1 bar is. So 1 tar is equal to 1.33 millibar and 1 Pascal is equal to 0.01 millibar or 10 to power minus 5 bar. That implies 10 to power 5 Pascal equal to 1 bar. 10 to power 5 means 100 kilopascal equal to 1 bar. Option 3 is correct. Question 45. Stress-strain relationship for Newtonian fluid is. So this is relationship between shear stress and strain rate or shear rate on x-axis, shear stress on y-axis. Newtonian fluid following a linear relationship. And this is shear thinning. Shear thinning are pseudoplastic fluids. Shear thickening are dilatant fluid. Examples also mentioned here. And for Newtonian fluid, water, air, alcohol, glycerol and thin motor oil are examples of Newtonian fluid. So they are following a linear relationship. Option 3 is correct here. Question 46. The function fx be a periodic function of period 2 pi. The coefficient of sin 5x in the Fourier series expansion of fx in the interval minus pi to pi is. Fourier series fx is equal to a naught summation n is equal to 1 to infinity an cos nx plus summation n is equal to 1 to infinity bn sin nx. Coefficient is written here. It is asking for coefficient for sin 5x. Put the value k equal to 5 here. Coefficient b5 equal to 1 by pi integration minus pi to pi fx sin 5x dx. Break it in two part, minus pi to 0 and 0 to pi. Minus pi to 0 it is minus pi here and 0 to pi it is pi. Solve it and answer will be 4 by 5. Option 1 is correct. Question 47. The Fourier series of an odd periodic function will consist of. For even function like cos minus theta is equal to cos theta, so f minus x is equal to fx, then it is even function. F minus x equal to minus fx, then it is odd function. And here it is asking for Fourier series for an odd periodic function. For an odd function, this term is going to be 0 because if function integration from minus a to a fx dx, for an odd function it is going to be 0. For an even function it will survive and it equal to 2 times of integration 0 to a fx dx. For a periodic function to be an odd, then this term is going to be 0. And an odd function and an even function, cos function is an even function, fx into cos it is going to be an odd function, then again this term is going to be 0. And sin theta is a odd function, so odd function multiplied by odd function, odd into odd, going to give a even function. So this fx sin kx will be a even function and integration will survive. This term is going to be survive, only sin terms. Option 1 is correct. Question 48. Let vector A and vector B be two distinct three-dimensional vectors. The component of B that is perpendicular to A is given by. So option A is correct here. For simplicity, just take help of this. Let's B, A and C in this arrangement, then B cross A in the direction of K, again J cap cross K cap, or B A cap cross this resultant equal to in the direction of B cap, again I cap here. A cap cross B cross A again in the direction of B cap, so it is a component of B and perpendicular to A. So the component of B that is perpendicular to A is this term. Question 49. Which of the following is Dirichlet condition? For Dirichlet condition, for the Fourier series to exist, the Fourier coefficient must be finite. It is known as weak Dirichlet condition, and two strong Dirichlet conditions are following. In one period, Ft has only a finite number of minima or maxima, and Ft has only a finite number of discontinuities, and each one is finite. So option 1 is correct. Function must have a finite number of maxima and minima in expansion interval. Question 50. Which of the following function can be used as an integrating factor to turn the following non-exact equation into an exact equation? So all option given here is in the form of x raised to power m, y raised to power n. Take m equal to 2 and h equal to 1, then x square y. Multiply x square y in this equation. So this is turned out to be 3x square cos x minus x cube sin x y square plus x cube cos x 2y dy by dx equal to d dx of x cube cos x into y square equal to 0. Now it is transformed into d dx of pxy equal to 0, exact. Okay, when it is in this particular form, then it is a exact differential, and then option 2 is correct here, x square y. Question 51. The value of integral 0 to infinity x raised to power a minus 1 divided by 1 plus x dx, where 0 less than a less than 1 will be. This integration 0 to infinity x raised to power p minus 1 divided by 1 plus x dx equal to gamma p into gamma 1 minus p equal to pi divided by sin p pi. Put p equal to a here, then option A1 is going to be correct, pi divided by sin pi a. Question 52. The value of m so that 2x minus x square plus my square may be harmonic is. For harmonic function, Laplacian should be equal to 0. So del square fxy equal to 0, or del 2f divided by del x square plus del 2f divided by del y square equal to 0. So del over del x of first derivative 2 minus 2x plus del over del y 2my. Again take the derivative, minus 2 plus 2m equal to 0, or m equal to 1. Option 4 is correct. Question 53. The solution of du by dt equal to 4 du by dx is. Solve this question using separation of variables method. Let's u equal to x into t and separate it. T prime equal to derivative with respect to time, and x prime equal to derivative with respect to x. So separate it. So t prime by t equal to 4x prime divided by x equal to some constant k. It must be equal to some constant k. Make two equations for this. T prime minus kt equal to 0, and for this x prime minus kx by 4 equal to 0. This will give the solution t equal to c1 e raised to power kt, x equal to c2 e raised to power kx by 4. Therefore u equal to multiplication of capital X capital T equal to c1 c2 e raised to power k x by 4 plus t. It is some constant, so a e raised to power k x by 4 plus t. Option 4 is correct here. Question 54. Which of the following matrices is skew Hermitian? So this question was dropped because 3 option is going to be correct here. For real matrix A and complex matrix B, A transpose is equal to A, then it is known as symmetric matrix. Similarly, for a complex matrix, when conjugate transpose equal to B, then it is Hermitian. And for skew symmetric, transpose of any real matrix equal to minus A, then matrix A is skew symmetric. Similarly, for a complex matrix, when conjugate transpose of matrix B equal to minus B, then it is skew Hermitian. 1, 3, 4, these skew Hermitian, that's why this question is dropped. Okay, 1 should be the correct answer, but here 3 is going to be correct, and this option 2 is equal to Hermitian matrix. Question 55. The solution of differential equation x log x dy by dx plus y equal to 2 log x is. Transform this equation in the form of dy by dx plus py equal to q. After comparing p equal to 1 divided by x log x and q equal to 2 by x, integrating factor e raised to power integration p dx equal to log x, and find the solution, final solution y into integrating factor equal to integration q into integrating factor dx. Q equal to 2 by x, here put it and solve it. Option A is going to be correct. Y log x equal to log x whole square plus c. Question 56. A charge q is placed at a distance 3r from a center of a grounded conducting sphere of radius r. The image charge and its distance are respectively. So this is a grounded conducting sphere, and from center at a distance capital D, a charge q is placed here. Radius of the sphere is equal to a. Solve these equations. Particular, this is grounded conducting sphere. The potential at particular any point of this sphere is going to be 0. Find resultant potential at particular point A. 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon q divided by d minus a, d minus radius a. Okay, plus let's image charge q prime is placed at a distance b from center, then potential due to this q prime equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon q prime divided by a minus b. A is radius of sphere. To solve it, then equation 1 is here. Similarly, potential at point B should also be 0. For this, 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon q divided by d plus a, capital D plus radius a, plus 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon q prime divided by a plus b due to this charge. Okay, so a plus b. Solve these two equations and it will give b equal to a square by capital D and q prime equal to minus aq divided by d. Here in this question, distance capital D equal to 3r. So put 3r at the place of d, and radius equal to r. At the place of a, put capital R. Then image charge q prime will equal to minus q by 3, and a distance from center b equal to r square by 3r equal to r by 3. So b equal to here a square by d or r square by 3r equal to r by 3. So option 1 is correct here. Question 57. The Laplace equation in CGS Gaussian system is del square v equal to 0. Option 4 is correct here. So this is Laplace equation in different coordinates: Cartesian systems, cylindrical systems and spherical system. Question 58. The ratio of intensity of magnetic field at center of a very long solenoid to that at the extreme ends is. This is solenoid and any point P is here, making an angle alpha from this end and beta from another end. Then magnetic field at point P, magnitude of magnetic field equal to B equal to mu naught Ni divided by 2 cos alpha minus cos beta. If solenoid is infinitely long, here it is given as very long, that means infinitely long solenoid, then alpha is going to be 0 and beta is going to be pi degree or 180 degree. After putting this to point P at center, this is turned to be B equal to mu naught Ni. For an extreme points or extreme ends, particular these points, alpha is going to be 0 but beta equal to pi by 2 here. Then B equal to mu naught Ni by 2 cos 0 minus cos pi by 2. So this term is going to be 0. So only mu naught Ni by 2 is surviving. Then the ratio of magnetic field at center and extreme ends equal to 2. Question 59. The electric field associated with an electromagnetic wave propagating in free space is given as E equal to E naught cos kz minus omega t I cap plus E naught cos kz plus omega t I cap. The average energy carried by the wave is. Expand these equations. E naught cos kz cos omega t, cos A minus B formula here, cos A cos B plus sin A sin B, cos A plus B formula here, cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. Solve it. So E equal to 2 E naught cos kz, this is amplitude term, and cos omega t I cap. This is oscillating frequency term here. So this is indicating a standing wave because both are separate. Omega t and kz is separate here, and it is showing indicating an standing wave equation. Average energy carried by the wave is 0. Okay, your Poynting vector is 0 or average energy carried by the wave is 0. Option 1 is correct here. Question 60. Okay guys, please like, comment and subscribe. Okay, let's go ahead. Question 60. In an electromagnetic wave, the electric field of amplitude 6.2 volt per meter oscillates with a frequency of 2.4 into 10 to power 10 Hz. The energy density of the wave is. So energy density due to electric field equal to half epsilon naught E square, due to magnetic field equal to 1 by 2 mu naught B square, and both are equal to each other, UE equal to UB. Then energy density due to wave equal to UE plus UB equal to 2 times UE or epsilon naught into E square. Put the values of this. Epsilon naught is equal to 8.85 into 10 to power minus 12 and E square is equal to magnitude here given here 6.2 square, and value comes out to be 3.4 into 10 to power minus 10 joule per meter cube. Option 3 is correct. Question 61. This variation of electric field with distance is observed in which of the following objects? Here in this particular region there is no electric field, 0, inside 0, and after capital R it is decreasing exponentially. Inside E equal to 0 and after it is decreasing with 1 by R square. So it is a spherical cell, okay, conducting spherical cell, and inside no electric field and at outside it is decreasing with 1 by R square. Option 4 is correct. Okay guys, so this is part 1 which was from question number 26 to question number 61, and question 62 to 100 will come in the another video. Please like and subscribe. Okay guys, thank you for your patience. It's a long video and many mathematical questions are here. It is going to be very useful for you for your MSc entrance examinations, and also I will suggest you to go through another videos. Recently many assistant professor examinations and lecturer examinations happened in various states, so you can take this help from there also. You can go through that videos as well, and there some questions from BSc only. तो जो भी आपको लग रहा है कि आपका पैटर्न या सिलेबस से है, आप पर्टिकुलर उस क्वेश्चन को वहाँ से आप देख सकते हो, क्योंकि एग्जाम्स रिसेंटली कंडक्ट हुए हैं. थैंक यू गाइस फॉर योर पेशेंस एंड बाय बाय.